Good morning. It's a Wednesday morning. It's September 26th. This is WGTV Today. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Good morning.
Good morning is right. And it's a middle of the week already. Can you believe this?
I know.
The fair starts tomorrow.
I know. We have anxiously been awaiting the fair starting and been trying to give you lots of detailed information about all the activities that are planned. There's an entire book full of activities from Thursday all the way through for 10 days.
Oh boy, a 10-day fair.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you what, it is great. And Milton Ingram has just done a wonderful job. You know, they won the Image Award again this year for 2012, and that means it's the most appreciated fair in all of North Carolina. It's the best, the Image Award.
Well, he's made huge improvements over the past 5 to 10 years with the fair and how now you can walk around and it's paved and it's so clean and the whole entire image has changed. It really has.
It really is. It's just a great place to go. There's something for everyone, of course. There's something for the youngsters. There's something for the kiddies, and of course, when you go to the fair, everyone's a kid.
Of course.
I'm a kid. And we're not talking baby goats here. We're talking real live kids.
Well, there's so many things to do. We've talked about it, you know, throughout the last week or so. I mean, there's exhibits you can go that showcase all of our local organizations and people that do specialized things from growing oversized pumpkins and produce to, I mean, you know, someone was telling us about that the other day.
That's right, Wallace Simmons.
Yeah, Wallace Simmons was telling us.
Yeah, he grew a 550-pound, and it's supposed to be out at the fair. We'll find out.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe we can talk to him about it.
I think so.
But there's so many things you can talk about, from cake and pie contest, who makes the best ones here in town, and there's a lot of talented bakers in our community.
You better believe that.
Not me, but there's a lot out there that are fantastic.
Well, I'm an unofficial judge.
Are you?
Unofficial.
Unofficial.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We all can be unofficial.
That's it. That's it. I'm an unofficial judge.
That's right.
All right.
So what else is coming up?
Well, coming up also toward the end of the month of October, I do want to mention the planting spring bulbs. If you appreciate and enjoy spring flowers, a lot of those are bulbs that are planted in the fall, and this is the time of year to do that. And there's going to be a workshop at the end of October, October 25th, in fact, at the Cooperative Extension Service. And they're going to help you, show you how to do it, the easiest way to do it. So if you want to grow tulips or daffodils or hyacinths or anything like that, irises or anything like that, anything that's a bulb or a tuber, then they're going to cover this at the Cooperative Extension Office in the kitchen, one of my favorite places, on October 25th. There's 2 sessions, one at noon, another one begins at 6 p.m.
They're giving you tips on how to be successful in planting your bulbs?
Yes, yes, and let me tell you something. Not everyone is 100% successful all the time. When people grow things in their garden, if you have a garden, you're not going to grow 100% all the time. Some things are just not going to make it. But the enjoyment is in doing it.
The process, that's exactly right.
Exactly.
Do you do a lot of planting? Or do you work in your yard?
I used to do a lot more than I'm able to do right now, but I really enjoy gardening. It's just a lot of fun, whether it's vegetable gardening or whether you're growing flowers or a combination.
I know, my husband loves it, and he's so good at it and loves to be, he'd be in the yard all the time if he could.
Oh, yeah.
Always making it pretty.
It is. It's a lot of fun, and it's enjoyable, and it's relaxing.
Relaxing, that's what.
Exactly, exactly. And he's right
That's
about
what he says. He loves just to be out there and see the transformation that a little bit of time spent can do.
And if you want to whether you're a beginner,
a newbie,
a newbie, or one of those other funny words, or a beginner, or whether you're a veteran at growing things here. This is something for everyone. October 25th. Call Jessica at the Cooperative Extension Service, 731-1525. And oh boy, I just remembered something.
What'd you remember?
We're going to have a regular series.
We are.
Featuring Jessica Strickland.
Oh, good.
Jessica Hyatt from the Cooperative Extension Service.
What is she going to do? What is she going to talk about?
We're going to talk about growing things, and it's going to be every couple of weeks. She'll come in and talk to us. She'll bring samples in, show us things, and talk to her about gardening.
Very good. Well, we were just talking about this morning how we're also going to have the city nurse going to come on once a month, and she's going to talk about wellness for all of us and things that we should focus on each month. And she'll give us tips of how to live a healthy life.
That is great.
Yeah. We have lots of additions to our show.
Yeah.
Her name is Cindy Stollard.
Cindy Stollard. I know Cindy Stoller.
Do you?
Yeah, that's great.
Well, she'll be coming on once a month.
Well, that's fantastic. All right, today, September 26th, is American Business Women's Day.
Very
Very
good.
important day. Yes, it is very good. Today is also Brady Bunch Day.
Is it really?
It is. I'm not kidding.
Why do we celebrate the Brady Bunch on one certain day?
Because they debuted this day in 1969.
Okay. I figured there was a reason.
Yep. 43 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, there was a controversy. Were you a Brady Bunch family or a Partridge family?
I've heard that.
You know, which one did you like better? Which one did you watch more? How about you?
It's not fair to ask me.
It's not fair to ask you? Okay.
And the reason it's not fair to ask me is because I really didn't.
You didn't watch either one?
Either one.
Okay. I actually watched both.
Did you?
Probably Brady Bunch more, but I don't know why. But Brady Bunch probably more than the Partridge family.
Okay.
I don't know if they were on TV more at that time
Yeah.
when I was growing up, but yeah, Brady Bunch was a pretty cool show back in those days.
Well, the guy.
And they had real family issues.
They did.
You know, that we
They
were going
did.
through at the time
That's
that were
right.
relevant
Yeah.
during those days. Now they're not quite as relevant.
Yeah.
We've kind of gone past that. Our issues are a little further
Yeah.
along.
Yeah.
But
I was more of a Jetsons and.
you like the cartoons.
Oh.
You like the cartoons.
Well, yeah, and I like the Honeymooners with Jackie Gleason and Life of Riley, and I loved all westerns.
Well, I Love Lucy was probably one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Always has been. And I
Yeah.
must have passed it down because my daughter's the same way. She's addicted to I Love Lucy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the situations she got caught up in are timeless. You know,
Lucy, absolutely.
it just
Oh, yeah.
and she and her husband Desi Arnaz were so farsighted in using the right kind of videotape to record the
Oh, yes.
programs
Oh,
because
yes.
they could see in the future. You know, this
Oh, yeah.
thing is going to be. You know,
Timeless.
Timeless, exactly.
And I
That's the
saw a
one.
special on them recently about how when they first started that show, the producers did not want Desi to be her husband on the show. They wanted an American.
Really?
They did not want her husband, and she was adamant that that would add a totally different context to the show
Yeah.
by having her real live Cuban husband on the show. And so she won out, of course.
Well, of course.
But yeah, that's how he ended up. She had to really put her foot down.
Well, that's good.
Say, my husband is my husband. On
Yeah.
and off the show.
That's good.
Yeah, pretty
All right,
neat.
Good for her.
Pretty
All
neat.
right. What's coming up?
Well, one of the things that I did want to mention is if you are interested in finding out details about what the city does, we have a City Scoop. It is a newsletter that is produced or published quarterly,
Okay.
and it tells us who the hires were for that quarter, who is retiring, any awards, and there's been tons, any awards that different departments have won,
Yeah.
and then there's always an update from the manager, the city manager. There's lots of pretty neat information on there.
right.
And that comes out quarterly, and it's on our website. You can find it there.
Outstanding. What is that website?
That is goldsboronc.gov. goldsboronc.gov. Right there on the homepage, you can find information about the City Scoop, which is our quarterly newsletter.
All right.
Stay informed.
Outstanding. Well, we have a full show for you today. We will have later on in the program, Stephen Stroud from the Inspections Department is going to be with us. Our new museum director, Brantlly Partin. You will enjoy hearing from Brantley. He's got some interesting stuff to tell you about.
That's what I hear.
And also, we'll be hearing from the Red Cross. You spoke with
Oh, yes.
Chuck, right?
I did. I spoke with Chuck, and also, actually, one of his board members was here. Miss Kay Daniels was here.
Yeah,
she
very
is the
good.
vice chair of his board, and they really gave us a lot of good information about what the Red Cross does, where the funding comes from, the activities that they hold in our community. Oh yeah, the list goes on and on, but it was a great interview.
All right. Let's hear that now here
All
on
right.
WGTV Today.
Good morning and welcome to WGTV Today. I'm Kim Best, your host. This morning I have with me some representatives from the American Red Cross, the Wayne County chapter. I have with me Chuck Waller, the executive director, and I also have with me Kate Daniels, the vice chair of the Wayne County chapter. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Glad to have you all here and glad for you to spread the news of what the Wayne County chapter of Red Cross does.
Great to be here, thanks.
Absolutely. Well, can you first start out, Chuck, with giving us an overview of what the Wayne County American Red Cross chapter does,
Right.
and where do you get your funding?
Right, day in and day out, we essentially do four things here in Wayne County, in communities all across this great land. First thing we do is we show up when there's a disaster. A disaster, most of the time in Wayne County, is a single family fire. Folks are displaced, they need somewhere to go, and we're on site as soon as we're called to help that family begin the recovery process. On larger scale events, tornadoes, floods, hurricanes, we're responding to those as well with mass care, with feeding and sheltering and things of that nature. And that service is available 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to all citizens. Second thing we do is we collect blood. We're out in Wayne County twisting arms, begging people to give the gift, and I literally mean twisting them. That's to get folks to give the gift of life. We have a blood drive about every other day.
You really do.
We do, and Red Cross collects blood every day of the year but Christmas Day.
Really?
We collect 40% of the nation's blood supply, and I tell people all the time, the only place you can get blood from is from people. You can't go to Target and get it. You can't go to
Can't
Walmart
buy
and
it
get it.
anywhere.
And my wife said you can get anything in the world you want at Target. But
You can't get it
I'm not
there.
getting
Can't get blood.
but we do collect blood. Third thing we do is we train a lot of people. Teach them CPR, teach them first aid. We can do babysitting. We can even do CPR for your cats and your dogs if that's important to you. So we do training day in and day out. And the last thing we do, we're the communication link between a family and a service member, no matter where that service member happens to be in the world. And we may be called in an emergency situation. For example, if a mother here in Wayne County has a heart attack and the family calls Red Cross and says, I need to get this message to our service member, our role in that transaction is, one, to validate the emergency, and then we do that by calling the hospital or calling, whatever the party involved is, and then we get that message delivered to that service member, no matter wherever he or she is in the world. And I've had people say, I was in a hut in Mogadishu, Somalia.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know how you found me. I was in the jungles in the Philippines. I don't know how you found me. But we get those communications delivered. So the 4 things we do, we respond to disasters, we collect blood, we help facilitate training, and then with the communication link between the service member and the family during time of an emergency.
And does this cost the citizens anything?
No. The training does. The training, there's a cost to that, but the disaster response, communication to the military, and the blood collection process, there's not a cost associated with that. So, yeah, and I'm asked all the time is, you get government funding, what are you doing out here raising money all the time for? Well, that is a great myth. We do not get government funding. We can't do what we do without the benevolence of people in the communities all across this great land. We're a partner with the Wayne County United Way and very grateful for their support, and also the many people in the community that support us financially with what we do, because we can't do it without it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We cannot do it.
And you do have so much support within this community, and I know you want to continue that growth of more and more support from our local community members, but you have such a great foundation. So many people believe in what you do, understand the importance of what you do. And when you stand in front of a house that is burning, or when you look around and you see the American Red Cross is there, what can you say other than thank you? And I'm sure you hear that a lot.
Well, we do, but I tell people all the time, we can't do it without you. Whether it's volunteer, whether it's financial support, we all have to work together to make it happen.
That's right. Well, let's talk about, Kate, what is this upcoming month? The month of October is a special month for Red Cross. Tell us what that month is.
We are focusing on fire. We are wanting to educate people on fire prevention. Chuck and I, right before we came in, were talking about some of the statistics that just scream at you, and one of them is that 65% of deaths that occur in a home fire are because there was no alarm. There was not a smoke detector. So something as simple as, going to the local store and getting a smoke detector, making sure that the batteries are changed. They say check them once a year. Check them once a month. Make sure that they're working. Something that small. I mean, that's a huge, alarming, no pun intended, number. And being prepared, and that's something the Red Cross does so good about. And if you can go to their website at redcross.org, there is scads of information, a checklist to sit down and discuss with your family. Okay, should we have a fire? This is what we need to do. There's information on there about the leading causes of fire. We talk a lot about kitchen fires, candles. What happens in the kitchen? If you're cooking for your family and you've got several things going on, you want to go get something out of the dryer and switch it. you know, there's tips on there that you think, you know, we all know that. We know
Right.
not to leave the, you know, a pot going.
Absolutely.
But, you know,
But we
I
need
have
to
had
be
a
reminded.
Right.
I've had a screaming child in the next room where
Right.
I've had to walk, you know,
Exactly.
around the corner. So
Just check on
there's
them.
great information, and we need to be reminded on it. And the entire month
Of
is
October.
focused on it, so that we can, you know, help educate and people can be aware of their home and what to do and what we can do to prevent fires.
That's right. Fantastic. Well, you know, one of
Sure.
the little tidbits that I heard of, and I'm sure you guys are probably the ones that have told us that, is that when the time changes, change batteries.
Right.
Go ahead and
Yeah.
change
That's
it.
right.
Then that
Every
way
time.
you
Great
know
reminder.
that everything is going to
Great.
be
Yep.
on target and ready
Right.
if something
That's
were to
right.
happen at your house.
That's right.
And you'll be prepared so you can
right.
get out. Well, talk about, if you will, some of the items that we would need in our home in case of a fire or an emergency situation, if you would.
Well, one Kate hit on was the smoke detector.
Absolutely.
That's a no-brainer. And statistics will tell us that half the deaths occur in homes that don't have smoke detectors in them. So that, I mean, again, that's a no-brainer. Other things like, especially if you have small children, put your lighters up. Don't
Right.
leave them where kids can get access to them. If you have to have lighters, make them
Or matches,
child-proof
any of
lighters
them.
or
Right.
matches or any of that type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You try to be careful, as Kate said, with if you're cooking. You got to be mindful. You got to be extra vigilant, because the leading cause of house fires is unattended cooking. It is
Wow.
unattended cooking.
Yeah.
You got to be mindful. 2/3 of the house fires occur as a result of unattended cooking. Let me give you a couple statistics that really got my attention. Red Cross responds to about 75,000 disasters in a given year nationwide. 93% of those are single-family fires. Due to math, that is 69,000 are single-family fires. The one that really got my attention: more deaths occur in single-family fires than tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, and earthquakes combined.
Oh my goodness.
Combined. It's not, and if you were to watch TV, I mean, you'll see all the, and all that stuff is significant. I'm not saying
Right.
that those are not significant responses, but that's something that most folks do not realize.
House fires.
So it's house fires, day in and day out. And that's what we respond to most. We
Right.
respond to about 65 or so a year just in little old Wayne County. And again, we respond in the richest neighborhoods and the poorest neighborhoods. And the assistance that we provide is free. It's not, there's no requirements other than, you know, you need help.
There's a need.
And we assist with things like lodging, if they need somewhere to go. There's an allowance for food, there's an allowance for clothing, there's an allowance for replacement medications. We got stuffed animals for the little ones. We can help with getting eyeglasses and things of that nature. But what I hear day in and day out, the items that we provide are significant. But what I hear from people is the fact that somebody was there at 2 o'clock in the morning
Absolutely.
to give me a shoulder to lean on, to
Absolutely.
reassure me
It's
that
gonna
some
be
way,
all right.
that's right, some way, somehow through it all, we're going to be okay. And that is,
That's
Wayne County,
huge for
Wayne
people.
County, that's you reaching out to help somebody
Right.
in a very significant time of need. Unless you've ever been there, you cannot know how tough that is. As you say it.
Absolutely.
I mean, unless you walk down that path, you do not know how tough that is.
Absolutely. I was telling you all earlier, you know,
Yeah.
I watched one of my very best friends, their
Yeah.
houses burned down. Nothing like that I had ever seen before.
Right.
And the feelings and emotions that you
Right.
feel as that is happening
Right.
is undescribable.
Right.
Undescribable.
It is.
And it makes you really rethink things.
Yep.
It really does.
Yep. Yep.
Well, we do want to thank you all for what you
Thank
do in our
you.
community. Thank you for the continued support. Now, if somebody wants to volunteer or if they'd like to give blood, how do they contact
Well,
you all?
if you want to volunteer, give blood or give money or just help in whatever way you want, please call the chapter at 919-735-7201. We would love to talk to you.
And how about your website?
Redcross.org.
redcross.org.
Yep.
So if you were interested in helping with the Red Cross here in Wayne County, they need your help, they need your assistance. We've given you the website, we've also given you the telephone number, and we look forward to you giving them a call, showing up at blood drives. They're all
There
over
you
this
go.
community,
That's
at
right.
every school in the
That's right.
county. And we're excited about what this Red Cross does on a regular basis, and thank you for the continued support. That's today on WGTV.
We're back on WGTV today. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best.
All right. Well, Kim, coming up, we'll be hearing from more people later on here. But, you know, out at the Wayne Regional Agricultural Fair, today is Wednesday. Tomorrow, everything opens up
Yeah, what time does it start?
Well, they're going to be receiving the exhibits at the fair beginning, well, this afternoon, everything except poultry, and then tomorrow they'll be receiving things up until about noon.
Okay.
And then judging starts at 1. The gates will open at 4 p.m.
That's what everybody wants to know. What time
4
can they
o'clock.
get in the fair?
4 o'clock, and adults are $6, K through 12 is $3, and preschool is free
And how late are they open?
till, well, the last little thing that I see here is they will have, at the pavilion, they'll have illusions and escapes beginning at 9 p.m. And that's the
We'll have
last
to look
thing
and see
on.
what time the gates close. We'll have to figure that out.
I think the gates will close when everybody's gone.
Really? I think they may have some hours.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. They're going to run everybody out of
Yeah.
there. You can't stay
Yeah.
too late because Thursday's a work night.
That's
People
right.
have to work and go to school the next day.
That's
But,
right. So 4 o'clock,
yeah.
and they have a long list of events and things that will happen that very first night.
Oh, yeah. And then Friday, everything opens up at 10:30 with a special populations event. But the
10:30
gates-
a.m., okay.
10:30 a.m., but the gate's not open to the general public until 4 p.m. The gates open at 4
So
o'clock.
each day it must
Each
open
day,
at 4.
each
Okay.
weekday. Saturday and Sunday, they open a little earlier.
I know Friday night they have all kinds of things going on. I know they actually have local high school girls participate in the Queen of the Fair pageant.
yeah.
That's Friday night. It may be in the pavilion, I believe.
Okay, let me see if I can find that for you.
All
then.
right, that's
Queen
Friday
of the
night.
Fair, 8 o'clock.
8
Friday
o'clock.
night.
That's a big event. Girls from every high school represent, and they compete and interview and various things. And then a girl will be crowned, and then she will reign that whole week, or she actually reign a year. But that week she'll be very
She
involved.
will reign.
That's what they call it, reign. R-E-I-G-N.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
and she'll be
okay.
the queen of the fair for an entire year.
She'll
But
be
she'll be
reigning.
very involved for
Yeah.
that week.
She'll be reigning for a year.
Yes, she will. But they get to participate in, local parades, and they're spokespeople for the fair for an entire year.
Okay.
So it gives them a lot of public speaking type of engagement. So
Yeah.
the girl who wins this title, who earns this title, really does have a year full of presenting herself and learning how to speak well in front of a group of people.
And then they can use that knowledge and go further
of course
if they
they can
like.
have it forever.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
And I like what you said. You said that they earn this.
Oh, they absolutely are.
They work for this.
Absolutely. You don't just walk in there and say, I'm here to win the title. I mean, the girls from all the different high schools compete, and they have a talent section, and they have interview, and then they have to answer questions on stage, and the list goes on the different qualifications of how to earn this title. But it is definitely something that you have to work on and make yourself as good as you can be.
Okay, all right. Also, tomorrow night, after the gates open at 4, the Powers Great American Midway opens up at 5 o'clock. So that's when you want to ride your rides, beginning at 5. And then at 6, it's the Almost Amazing Rex and Dana Ryan and the Kidsville stage. Hanson's Thrill Show, the Open Junior Meat Goat Show will be happening. The Kids Magic Show at 6:30. Extreme Illusions and Escapes in the Pavilion. Just a full
And that's
day.
all Friday, right?
That's all Friday.
All right.
That's right.
Wow, there's lots of things to choose from. Every single night there's a long list.
In fact, there's a lot of things on Thursday as well when everything opens up. Yeah, that's Friday. But Thursday, the Junior Market Hog Show, the Almost Amazing Rex, vocational competition as well, math entertainment, math and drafting and drafting and math. I'll get it in a minute. In the vocational competition, that begins at 5:30.
Well, which day is the spelling bee? I know you're very involved in that.
Well,
That's
I'm kind of
Tuesday.
involved with that. Yeah, that's Tuesday in
Is that in the afternoon?
entertainment arena. That actually starts right at 6:30.
Okay. All right. Do you know? Well, you may not know what night the talent show is. I know they have a talent competition.
Yeah,
as
there's
well.
a talent competition, and I'm not sure exactly when that is, but we'll sure
We'll check
find
and
out.
find out.
Yeah, we'll find out for you.
That's right. So lots every single day.
Yeah.
There's something for everybody.
Yeah,
There's
it's a-
really all different kinds of
there
phases of
really
entertainment.
is, including
That's
the
right.
ugly truck contest, and I think that's early in the this weekend,
There's
Friday
a
or Saturday.
demolition derby and all that
Demolition
fun
derby. You got cows, you got your goats, you got your horses.
stuff. Good food.
Good food.
I'm looking forward to those candy apples.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm looking
Funnel
forward.
cakes,
Yeah,
all that
everything.
stuff.
It's always a lot of fun.
It is.
All right, today is Wednesday, as a matter of fact.
So don't forget Farmers Market is today.
Oh, that's right.
Farmers Market today.
Exactly right.
Remember, we only have the rest of October to be able to go to the Farmers Market, and we have it over at Herman Park Center in the
Yeah.
parking lot by the Tennis courts are on the Herman Street side.
Yeah, at Herman Park.
That's right. Herman Park opens at 9:30 a.m.
Right.
and it'll stay open until dusk, till it gets dark.
Okay.
Fresh local produce can be purchased there. Don't know why I'm clapping my hands.
Well, thank you.
But yay, please go
Thank you
to the
very
Herman
much.
Park Center,
Happy to be here.
to the farmer's market.
All right, to the farmer's market. Well, let's see. We mentioned Brady Bunch Day. It's also Gilligan Day. Gilligan's Island premiered this day in 1964, of course, starring Bob Denver, who was also Maynard G. Krebs in an earlier show, and the G stood for Walter. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Okay. Anyway, Alan Hale, Jim Backus, Natalie Schaefer, Russell Johnson was the professor, along with the lovely Dawn Wells and Tina Louise. And Tina Louise never really liked doing that program, but she was, of course, a major part of it. And when they had a reunion, she didn't go back.
Really?
No.
My goodness.
Anyway, Gilligan Day, 1964. It's also Beverly Hillbillies Day.
Oh, we did watch that show quite a few times
What
in my
a
house growing up.
funny
It
show.
was hilarious.
And I remember this like it was yesterday when it first came on. Buddy Ebsen, of course, Irene Ryan, Donna Douglas, and Max Baer. Not Max Baer. Yeah, Max Baer, Buddy Baer's son. But the show went on for 9 seasons. One of the all-time favorites, 1962, the Beverly Hillbillies. This day it premiered.
So that's when it started, 1962.
1962. That's
Before
what?
my time.
50 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. It was before your time.
Before my time, but I watched many one of those
Yeah.
Beverly Hillbillies. It was hilarious.
And it's still on somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nick
yeah.
at Night, probably.
Funny. Yeah, probably Nick at Night or somewhere like that.
That's right.
All right, what else do we have going on
Well, you
here?
know, Wayne, we've talked about it before, and I think our Chief of Police, Jeffrey Stewart, has talked about it many times in his interviews, but the police department is now doing something called community policing.
Yeah.
And that is where they are very much interested in getting out, talking with the community members, walking on foot, riding bicycles, talking with
yeah.
local people, seeing a friendly side of police, seeing that they are human beings that live right here in your community. Many of them grew up in this community, and that they are very much interested in getting to know you, getting to know your community, building a relationship with the citizens of Goldsboro, and that is called community policing. It's been going on now for almost a month. I believe it actually has been a month, and we are seeing results from that, from building relationships with people.
That's great.
It really is.
That is great. That's a great idea. And
We're glad
that'll
he's
work.
on board. Jeff Stewart is a great chief of police, and he's working hard to really make positive changes.
He's doing a great job.
He is.
He really is. All right, let's see what else we have here. We have, of course, the planting the spring bulbs thing coming up October 20. That's October 25th. Also want to mention the softball game between the doctors and the lawyers coming up at the Boys and Girls Club. That's on
right.
October 18th. And I'll tell you what, that is going to be so much fun. That's going to be a tremendous amount of fun. The dinner begins at 6. The game itself begins at 7 p.m. It's only going to go for 6 innings or 2 hours, but it's going to be so much fun. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Wayne County will benefit from this game, so it's so important you be a part of this. If you would like to become a sponsor, there are 3 levels of sponsorship available, and you can talk to Joe Heidenreich at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Wayne County about how to become a sponsor, okay?
That's right. And mark your calendars for October the 20th. The Goldsboro Parks and Recs is holding their fall festival. Doesn't cost you a thing. You just walk in the door and enjoy the festival from 12 until 4 at Herman Park Center. So mark it on your calendar.
It's free?
It's free.
It's free.
From 12 until 4, Herman Park Center, a fall festival. I've been before many times. Great activities they have for local children.
So it's free up until 4 o'clock. What
That's
happens after 4?
They
start
close the doors.
Oh, I thought they maybe.
They deflate the inflatables.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's right.
All right. Okay, it's a Wednesday morning, all right, middle of the week. We're going to now hear from, I talked to Brantley Partin a few days ago. Brantley is the new director out at the Wayne County Museum, and we're really happy he is with us, but he will tell you why it's important to have our museum and what you might find there up next on WGTV. Today we're talking with Brantley Partin, and Brantley is the new director of the Wayne County Museum on North William Street. Brantley, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Appreciate you coming by and speaking with us.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about Brantley Partin.
I came back to North Carolina recently. I'm from Goldsboro. I was born here. My family's been here for a long time, and I went to Carolina for undergraduate and then went to UNCG. Got a master's degree in museum studies. moved away for a while, came back not long ago, and there was an opening at the museum, so I figured what a great way to do the history of Wayne County.
Well, that's great. And how long were you gone from Wayne County? When you moved, you went off to college and went
Well,
off to South
I've
Dakota?
sort of been all over. I was in South Dakota. I was working for a museum out there. And then a couple years ago, I moved back. I was doing other things, and this came up, and I figured I've spent all that money for grad school. I might as well get back into the museum.
That's right. Make the most of it.
That's
so,
right.
So, how does this particular museum compare to others you have worked? Is that a fair question?
It's sort of. Museums, there are a lot of museums across the country, and you've got everything from the Smithsonian, the Metropolitan, all the way down to the Wayne County museums, local history museums. And if you look at all the museums across America, the Wayne County Museum is probably the most, I would say, common. Lots of counties have them. We've got a great building. We've got some advantages that some places don't have. So it's good. And like I said, local history that's the most important kind of history.
That particular building you mentioned was a USO building many, many years ago.
It was. Originally, it was built in 1927 for the Women's Club of Wayne County. They used it, I don't know the complete history, but around World War II, they lent it out to the USO. And as far as I know, the entirety of World War II, they were having events every night there.
Wow.
The women's clubs sort of took it back, I think, after the Korean War. They donated the building to us, to the Wayne County Historical Association in 1988, and we've had the building ever since.
And there it is. It's a beautiful old building right there at the corner of William and Chestnut. No,
William and
Mulberry.
Mulberry.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a great building. Not many like it. Certainly in Goldsboro, and it's great because it was built as a public building. It was not built as a home. If it had been built as a home, it would be a lot harder to run as a museum.
Yeah.
But it's essentially two very large rooms, which is great.
And an upstairs.
The upstairs, which also has a stage, that's one thing I'm trying to get the word out. I'd like people to come over, rent it for special events, things like that. It's a great building. Don't have specific prices yet, but I'm in the middle of doing that, and we'd love to have local groups come out and use it.
Well, let's talk about that a little more now. There is upstairs at the museum is a nice large stage, and I've been to a couple of events there, and it's ready to use. And I would imagine that the pricing is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, right now we've something about $50 an hour security deposit that's refundable. To be honest, over the years we've had groups in and out using it, but we've never gotten the word out on that. And to be quite honest, the money's great if local groups want to pay us to use it, but the advertising is what's even better, because if they have a good time, they're going to get the word out, and you can't beat that kind of advertising.
So if you have a group or an organization and you need a place to hold an event, this is perfect.
It is perfect. We've got a kitchen downstairs, air conditioning, heating. We've got seating for pretty much as many as you need upstairs.
That's a large room.
Yep, and a working stage with a curtain and everything.
All right. Well, let's talk about the museum a little bit. Downstairs, as you mentioned, you have the two large rooms. And what are some of the artifacts we'll find in the museum?
Well, it's kind of in flux now, but right now we've got a temporary exhibit that's going to run through sometime middle of November called Ships and Their Stories, and we've got a few different artifacts from the CSS Noose, which was an ironclad Civil War ram. It was built actually in Seven Springs and then floated down to Kinston, where it was sunk by the Confederacy, who couldn't get it further down the Noose River. We've also got a really nice model of the Queen Anne's Revenge, which was Blackbeard's ship. A local guy named Jim Rohrbach, who builds, that's his job. He builds models. He's graciously donated it to us through November. It's on display. We've also got things like the Wall of Fame. Pretty much all the important people of Goldsboro and Wayne County's history. We've got little plaques up on the wall, and it's great because it's not a few famous people, mostly people important to Wayne County history.
Yeah. You have had and will continue to have so many wonderful things there. And I know you do specialize and highlight and feature special events, not events, but special topics and subjects through time, such as the ships that you're showing right now.
We do.
What's going to be coming up?
The next thing we've got coming up is a speaker on the 25th of this month, and his name is Charles Ivy. He is from, I believe, Duplin County. He's local.
Right.
He had an ancestor that was on the Titanic that actually died when the Titanic sank.
Wow.
1912, I believe.
April of 1912.
Yep, April of 1912. And he's going to be speaking on the 25th at 7 o'clock, talking about his ancestor and also about the Titanic in general. And that's free to the public upstairs. And he's going to be bringing a lot of personal effects from his family.
Wow, that's interesting. You know, it's everyone loves museums, or everyone should anyway, because I always say you don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. So if you know the history of the area in which you live, it's a little easier to understand the direction an area takes. Is there anything in your mind? I know you're new at the museum here, but you're not new to the community. Is there anything in your mind that you would say that people just don't understand about the museum? Misconceptions?
I don't know about misconceptions. I think the biggest thing is a word of mouth that, you know, we're there. I'm really I'm gonna go on a push to try and do more public programming, not just speakers, events, because quite frankly, you know, at large museums you can do temporary exhibits all the time, and you've got people that's all they do. We're two people down at the museum, so I'm going to focus more on trying to get some public programming so that people have a reason to keep coming back. Because like I said, we've got a lot of good stuff, but once you've seen it, we need a reason to bring back people, and I think there are a lot of people in town that would like that, you know, especially school groups and homeschoolers, you know, educational opportunities. So I think that's important. You
mentioned two people. It's you and Chris Lawson.
Yes. Chris Lawson works usually about 2-3 days a week, and then when he's not there, I'm there.
You're there. All right. Well, we've talked to Chris many times before, and he's a good ambassador for the museum.
He is the best ambassador.
He knows his stuff.
He does. He knows more about Goldsboro and Wayne County than just about anyone.
That's true. He's very knowledgeable about the area.
He is.
Now, as far as the museum goes, how is the museum funded?
Funding comes from a few different sources. Primarily the county, Wayne County, and then also the city of Goldsboro kick in some funds. The rest comes from memberships. We get donations, and then sometimes grants. Grants are kind of a tough thing because you apply for one, but it doesn't mean you get it every year. Right. So we get sometimes from that, we get some grant money. We also get people, a woman that recently passed away that's left us a little bit of money. So people in their wills, which is
wonderful.
Is a great thing.
Nice.
That want to give back to the local community, and we've been fortunate enough to receive some money from that. So it's sort of a hodgepodge of here and there, but we're not affiliated with the county or the city. We're not. We're an independent group under the Wayne County Historical Association.
Right. Wayne County Historical Association pretty much is the overseer of the museum. Now, what's the address again on North William?
116 North William Street, the corner of Mulberry and William, right across the street from the post office.
Right, right across from the post office, and I've been there many times, and I strongly encourage you to go if you've never been to the Wayne County Museum. The dioramas, that's still set up with the Battle of Goldsboro Bridge?
Battle of Goldsboro Bridge,
yeah, man, I love that.
Done by a local man, Randy Sauls, who knows more about Civil War in Wayne County than anybody, and then actually Jim Rohrbach, who did the Queen Anne's Revenge model. A few years ago, he graciously donated a lot of his time to refurbish it, so it looks great.
I'll tell you what, it's a fun place to go and just spend a little time, and I strongly recommend you're going and visiting the Wayne County Museum, and our thanks to BRANTLY PARTIN for speaking with us, and give Chris our best. Tell him we said
I will.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
And BRANTLY will be back with us from time to time, I hope.
I will, certainly.
Very good. What's the phone number of the Wayne County Museum?
Phone number is 734-5023.
734-5023. BRANTLY, thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me.
We're back. We're back on WGTV. Thank you for being with us.
We appreciate you staying with us. We have lots of good information to tell you about, and if you're a nonprofit and you're having an event coming up, you would like to tell us about it and for us to share it with the community, make sure you email it to wgtv@waynegov.com. and we will share your information. Send it at least 2 weeks before your event, and we'll talk about it on the morning show. Right, Wayne?
I think that's a great idea. WGTV@waynegov.com.
Exactly.
And we haven't mentioned this in a while. If you would like to see your pet on television,
That's right.
you can send us your pet pictures at WGTV@WayneGov.com.
That's
All
right.
right.
We'll show them on the morning show.
That indeed we will.
And don't forget, mark your calendars, October 27th. If you want to be a part of the Really Chili Challenge that benefits the Community Soup Kitchen, give them a call. You can put your chili out there and put it up against everybody else here in the community and
Yeah.
see who wins the contest. And just have a good day for a good organization. All proceeds, like I said, benefit the Community Soup Kitchen, October 27th.
Right. Right. You know, we were talking about Jeffrey Stewart and our fine police department here a little while ago, and of course the Wayne County Sheriff's Office doing a fantastic job helping with keeping crime under control here in
That's
the Wayne
right.
County area. But I have two crime stories for you, and it happened on this day. The first one, in fact, they both happened. Two crime stories happened on this day in the year 2002, exactly 10 years ago today.
Tell us about it.
The first one was a 39-year-old guy who ordered a limousine to pick him up at a hotel in Moline, Illinois. He did this after he had robbed a bank in Moline, Illinois. Unfortunately for this genius, the driver of the limousine was a retired police officer
Uh-oh.
who tipped off police that a suspicious passenger had just paid him $335 in cash to take him to Chicago. State troopers arrested this guy at a nearby truck stop. So, next time you're in Moline, Illinois, and you have an urge to rob a bank, don't call a limousine service.
Oh, wow.
All right. Then in a story out of Brazil, a guy by the name of Sergio Vilas Boas escaped from a police station. He was in a police station, he was under arrest, and he found a way out. He ran from the police station. And as he was running up the street, he spotted a bus.
Okay.
He spotted the bus, and he flagged the bus down, the bus stopped, and he got on. First mistake. Because he had been arrested originally for carrying 3 handguns at a soccer match. You can't do that at soccer matches. You can't carry but one. No, you can't carry any guns at soccer matches. He thought he had it made when he got on board this bus. The bus stopped and opened the door to let him on. Unfortunately for him, everybody on the bus was a police officer looking for him. So,
Oh, my goodness.
so the next time you're in Brazil and you decide to escape from the police station, don't run out and catch a bus. Call a limousine service out of Moline, Illinois. They'll come get you.
My goodness. Where do you come up with your stories?
I don't know. They're all true, though. Well, most of it's true anyway. Birthdays today includes Olivia Newton-John.
Oh,
She is, the lovely lady, is 64 years today. Linda Hamilton, who was Beauty and the Beast on TV and something else she did, the movies with Schwarzenegger. She's 56 today. Melissa Sue Anderson of Little House having a birthday. She turns 50. And tennis star Serena Williams is 31 years today.
well, her and her sister have had such a huge career, haven't they?
I am telling you, they are just amazing.
I mean, they win
are.
everything
I know.
over and over. They are some very talented, athletic young women.
That indeed they are.
Wow. All right,
Okay.
don't forget the Jason Bishop Show, October the 5th at the Paramount Theater. He is an illusionist, and he's been called America's hottest illusionist. He is all around the community these days, all around the country too. And he is performing with his, I believe he has an assistant that is with him, and he levitates her up in the air and all kinds of crazy things that these illusionists do. October the 5th at the Paramount Theater.
Oh, these illusionists, what do you do? Huh? Do all kinds of
That's
crazy
right.
things with
They
them.
really do.
Yeah, they
Oh my goodness. They have lots of things to show us on October the 5th.
That's right.
Get
So
your
if you-
tickets now.
Get your tickets now. And if you want to see this illusionists,
I believe.
whatever. What's the date on that? The 5th.
October 5th.
Okay, there you go. On the way, we'll be talking with Stephen Stroud, who is with the Wayne County Inspections Department. That's up next on WGTV. Today we're talking with Stephen Stroud, and Steve is the director of the Inspections Department for the County of Wayne. Stephen, I appreciate you being with us. Tell us, what is the Inspections Department? What do you inspect?
We inspect all aspects of the building, whether it be residential, commercial, mobile home setups. We do electrical, plumbing, heating and air conditioning, a little bit of all of it.
So everything that could possibly create a hazard or something that could go wrong or cause a problem with the building that would maybe render it unsafe. That's
right.
what you inspect and you look for.
And we have the International Building Code, or otherwise known as North Carolina Building Code, and is what we go by to make sure that it meets or exceeds those codes
How often is that code updated?
every 3 years.
And you adhere to it very strictly?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as the building is progressing, whether it's residential or commercial, you do both, right?
That's right.
So at what point do you start inspecting?
When the first shovel goes into the ground and they're digging the footing for the building or the house.
Okay.
Before any concrete is poured into that footing, we've got to make sure that it's the right depth and width to support the structure. And then they can pour the concrete in the footing.
Okay, and then who brings you, you go out, who brings you that information? Do you go out to the site or do they come to you first?
The way they come to us first, they have to get a permit from us after we have approved a set of plans that they bring to us. We look at the plans, make sure they do meet the codes, then we take that set of plans when we go to the job site to make sure that what they've done matches what the plans say.
So you're there at the very beginning.
That's right.
And from that point on, how often do you go out and inspect?
On a house, typically 7 times on a house.
Typically 7 times on a house. So from that point, from 7 times on a house, that's over what period of time? It could be any length of time.
It could be 3 months to a year. We have some houses that may last a little longer than a year, just depending on how fast they are. If it's somebody building it themselves, they may not be as quick as a contractor would be.
What are some of the biggest mistakes that contractors or builders make?
Not paying a close attention to any code changes. Once we get into a code cycle, it seems it takes us 6 months to a year sometime before everybody catches on to any changes that may have been made. And that seems to be a problem that we see a lot of times.
And most of the time, this is just an oversight,
That's
I would
right.
think. It's not intentional.
That's right.
Now, when you're inspecting, you inspect everything. That includes decks, that includes, tell me about drainage.
Drainage, as far as once the house is completed and they've landscaped the yard, we make sure that the drainage is away from the home at least 10 feet away. We want to make sure that water, if it comes off of the house or in a rain, that it drains away from the home, not back to it or under it.
Okay, and at what point do you pass inspection?
After that point, that's usually the last step is the final after they have landscaped the yard. They get their address numbers on the house, and that's for 911 emergency purposes. We want to make sure if somebody calls 911 that they can be found.
Now, that's something new, isn't it? Isn't that relatively new?
Well,
in
it's
the past
something that's
3
been
years?
into the code for a while. We've really started pushing it in the last, I'd say, 6 years or so.
What kind of building changes in materials have you seen that have, over the last few years? How long have you been doing this, by the way?
I've been working with the Wayne County Inspections a little over 15 years now.
So over the past 15 years, what have you seen change that's for the better in building?
Well, what has changed here recently, and they've been changing a little bit over the past few years, is the energy code. Trying to be more energy efficient with what we're building now. The latest changes, and in the last code change in 2012, energy code was probably the biggest one that did change. We're making the houses more energy efficient by having windows and doors that are more energy efficient. The insulation that we're putting in them now has got to be put in where everything is encapsulated in the wall. That means, let's, for instance, say a cathedral ceiling in a living room, that the back side of this cathedral ceiling faces into an attic area. Before we put the insulation to the wall, you put the sheetrock to the wall being on the inside. The outside, the other side was in the attic. The insulation was left open. Now you have to come back and close it in so that wall is actually encapsulated.
Okay.
That the insulation is held tight into the wall.
And that, of course, is to prevent leakage
Any
of
leakage.
cold air or hot air.
That's right, or letting your heat and air go through the other way. All holes and cracks in 2x4s into walls have got to be sealed now with caulking compound. Everything is sealed tight.
Okay. What does that do to the home? Does it make, I guess it makes it more energy efficient.
They say it makes it more energy efficient, and now they have to have a test. After the house is completed, they have 2 tests, of what we call a blower door test. They take a device and put it on your front door, and it detects any leakage through windows, doors, or anything else. And they do the same thing with your heating and air conditioning system.
Really?
They check for leaks in the heating and air conditioning system.
This is
now.
done on new homes?
This is done on new homes.
Is it, and it's done on all new homes?
That were permitted after this code change. Yep.
Wow. Now, what's the cost of getting an inspection done?
For us, as far as a new home, it could run anywhere from $300 to $1,000, of course, according to the size of the home, and that's how we base our permits is on the construction cost, which overall is the size of the structure.
So the more expensive the house, then the more costly the inspection.
That's right.
All right. What about commercial buildings? How do you figure how that's?
That's also considered. That's also based on construction cost.
All right.
So.
What on the other side of the coin? What have you not seen happen in code that you would like to see happen? Is there anything you'd like to see changed? Anything different? Well, we won't answer that question. We just move on to something else. Is that all right with you?
That's fine.
That's fine.
Well, what I was thinking about is certain projects, I think they should require that it has to be done by licensed contractors.
Oh, okay.
I think that would be a good idea. It may not sit well with a lot of people, especially some homeowners or people that would like to do things themselves, but a lot of times that's a lot of the trouble that we run into is homeowners or a do-it-yourselfer that really is not familiar with the building codes, and it'd be frustrating for them as well as us too.
That is, I can see how that would be a problem, and I can also see how some homeowners would not particularly like to see that.
That's
but
right.
but
and
now
a homeowner can do their own work, but you can do all your work on a mobile home setup as well. But you have to own the land, own the home, and live there for at least 12 months to be able to do your own work. And you can. It's legal to do that. But we do have a lot of problems, it seems like, with people that are trying to do their own work that really are not familiar with codes.
All right. So what's the worst that could happen? What could happen if someone does their own work and it's not up to code? What?
Well, if it's inspected, we will point out the problems to them and have them correct them.
Okay. And at that point, if they correct them, everything's fine. If they don't, what happens?
Well, then they won't get passed and may not get electricity on them.
Okay. But now, why is that the case? When someone says, "Why are you doing this? Why can't it pass code?" and you explain to them why it can't pass code, and then it doesn't pass code, then what happens? I mean, they tell you or they ask you the question, why is this happening?
Well, we want to make sure that it's safe, not only for you, but for the one that may come behind you and buy the piece of property. We want to make sure it's safe for anybody.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. I've seen people go into homes that purchase a house, go into it, the house is not up to code. They didn't realize this. They should have had an inspection.
That's right.
And they would have found that.
And people that do their own work a lot of times and don't get permits.
Yeah.
That can be a problem, especially with what I just said. If something were to happen to the home while they live in there, if the insurance company finds out that they have done work or built an addition onto their home, did not get permits, and it was not inspected, a lot of times the insurance company will not honor their insurance because they didn't. If they find that to be the problem with whatever happened.
So what would be your advice to the homeowner or to a builder who is ready to start a job or build a house or a building? What would you tell them? What steps should they go through?
Call us first. Make sure that what they're doing, do they need a permit? There's some projects, small projects, you may not need a permit for.
Give me an example of something that
a storage building in somebody's backyard.
Okay.
Let's say it's a 10 by 10.
All right.
10 foot by 10 foot. They would not need a building permit.
Okay. A 10 by 10 storage building, you would not need a building
The
permit.
code says that we've got to have anything that has a greater than a 12-foot dimension shall meet the building code.
Okay.
Greater than length, width, height. Anything greater than 12 feet does require a building permit, and it has to meet the building code.
So 11.5 by 11.5 by 11.5 is okay.
That's right. You wouldn't have to have a building permit. But if you go and put electrical wiring into it, the electrical has to be inspected.
Aha.
Doesn't matter about the electrical. It's got to be.
It has to be inspected.
Yes, it's good. You have to be, your permits, and it has to be inspected.
And if there was plumbing, same thing?
That's right.
Okay. All right, so your advice would be to call us first.
Call us first. We'll steer you in the right direction.
All right, well, let's get a phone number for the inspections department and steer us in the right direction. What's
Okay.
that number?
Number is 919-731-1169.
919-731-1169. I'll get it in a
correct.
moment here. 919-731-1169.
And I would say, for those that like to go online, visit us at our website at www.waynegov.com and go to Inspections Department.
And that's part of the menu there.
Yes, it is.
It's in the menu there, Inspections Department. www.waynegov.com. Go to the menu and look for Inspections Department.
That's right.
Stephen Stroud's the director of the Inspections Department here in Wayne County. Stephen, we appreciate you being with us
Yes,
today.
sir. Enjoyed it, Wayne. Thank
I'm
you.
Wayne Alley for WGTV. We're back on WGTV today. It is a Wednesday morning, the 26th of September. Thank you for being with us.
It is middle of the week.
I know. How did
Middle of
that
the
happen?
week.
Wednesday got stuck in the middle.
Does every week.
The day with the longest number, most numbers of letters in it, got stuck in the middle of the week.
It balances things out.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
It balances,
Very good.
keeps the world in balance. That's right.
Well, okay.
Don't forget, United Way has Taste of Wayne coming up soon.
Oh, yeah.
October the 13th. Do you have your ticket yet?
I
do.
I don't have mine yet, but I will have it. That's on a Saturday this
It's
year.
on a Saturday, and things are a little bit different this year. We've talked about it before, that they have Saturday event instead
Yeah.
of a weeknight.
Yeah.
It's lunchtime, when it's usually in the late afternoon, early
Yeah,
evening.
that's
So it's
right.
from 11 to 1:30, I believe.
Yeah.
It is at Cornerstone Commons here downtown Goldsboro. And they have, of course, typically they have around 30 vendors, local restaurant vendors. And this year, the other new thing they're having is R.A. Jeffries is having a Taste of Spirits.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have lots of things to taste October the 13th. Get your ticket now. It benefits, of course, United Way, which in turn benefits our community.
Very good. Well, I do believe that's about it for today. We're out of time. And we'll ask you to join us again tomorrow morning. We're on every morning, 7 a.m., Monday through Friday.
That's right. Thank you for joining us. You can also watch it on the city and the county's YouTube channel if you would like to see these at a later date or time from the comfort of your own home and computer.
That's right. Somebody reruns these, don't they?
I believe they do.
So we're on several times during the day.
Yep, from the channel 10, of course, and channel 99 if you're an AT&T user, but you can also see them on the YouTube stations.
Exactly right, on YouTube. And then you could get to a link on YouTube from the city site and from the county site.
That's
All right.
exactly right.
So until tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and this is what's happening in your community.